Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I want to talk about a word that's being used a lot nowadays, and all of us have a different view of that word, and it is spirituality. What does it mean? What does it mean for some? What does it mean in different cultures, different religions, and ethnic backgrounds? We're going to dig a little deep into that. And he is the owner of Le Peristyle Sanctuary. Papi Atande is back with us. Welcome back, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you, and happy holidays to everybody, be it Christmas or Hanukkah or any of the other faiths and things that like Kwanzaa or anything that you're looking for.
Yeah,
I wish you the best.
Absolutely. Special time of the year as well. And maybe there's a good time to even talk about spirituality, right?
I think so.
What does it mean? What does it mean for you? What's your feeling? What do you think people are thinking when they hear that word?
People often don't really completely understand when they talk about the spirit, because it involves so many different moving parts. The spirit within us, or this person passed, I can feel their spirit. Oh, wow, did you look at the way the clouds and the thing? It's so spiritual, Oh, yes, that's their spirituality. They're doing that thing over there. They sweep with brooms, and that's the way they do their spirituality. So it's a lot of moving parts there, and it's a lot of things that people don't always know how to completely connect to, but it's all connected in some way, but we can't really say what it is what's connected. And how, what do you think? What do I think? Or what does he feel? What does she feel? In spirituality, can be all those things. I mean, there's nobody wrong who gets it wrong. Even when they talk in spirituality being a very dark place, when they talk about very dark moments or things that are dark. Involving spirituality, the truth of the matter is that it is some very dark areas of the spirit. I got a spirit in my house, something touched me. I woke up and I was feeling like this, and I'm sweating and I'm nervous. There was something I didn't like about it, something ominous, specters and all kinds of other things. Truth is, spirit doesn't belong to just one type of spirituality. People say, "Oh, her spirit was so graceful." That okay. So most people are like, it refers to something high and soft. It's grandmom, right. Pop, something like that. And then on the other hand, somebody's talking something quite nefarious, So
I've heard that before too. It's funny. Like you hear somebody say she had or she has a wonderful spirit.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And you could take that in any way. It could be her persona, who she is.
Yeah.
What she presents, or the energy that comes off of her.
But nobody ever mentioned the fact that in other ways she was a bitch. Yes. What part of the spirit is that?
Yes, I don't know. Maybe it's me, but when I hear spirituality, we talk about the word spirit, like you mentioned before, and I was kind of surprised because I never thought of it in that way, of darkness. I never think of that. It's always, I think of positive light. Yeah, some people do connect it with religion, and that's their choice. Sometimes I'll say, and I believe the universe supports us. What is it supporting? The spirit within us. Am I religious? Yes, to some degree, but I'm not even totally factoring that in. But I do have a friend who is religious, and she'll say, well, I said, the universe is, supports her. She'll like, oh, really? Who do you think created the universe? And then that starts another debate. And she'll say, can we go? And then we go around, right?
We go with that dance again, I wish they changed that song, but boy, I love the waltz.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People often get that way.
How about spirituality in different cultures, or some of the ones that you represent?
Yeah, it's so funny, and I like the way you preface that. Some of the ones I represent, because as president of the National African Religion Congress, we are an international organization which plows into different cultures, into different parts of Africa, the Caribbean, throughout the diaspora, especially South America, Mexico, Central America, and now in places like China and South and parts of the South Seas. What we've came to discover is that our spirituality spreads and reaches in all of these areas, and including indigenous Americans and things like that. None of us can count ourselves as being different when it comes to the spirit, because the spirit abounds in all things and in all of us, and that's the one connection. We talk about the quantum physics of it all. The one thing that connects us all. Humans tend to think that we are so important, but if every human being died on the planet will still continue to move on, and probably doing a lot better without us. No exhaust, no carbon emissions, no blah, 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 blah. If all the worms and the bumblebees and things like that die, we die. So, okay. So let's look at it spiritually, involves with different organizations and spirituality. I find the one thing that hinders all of us is tribalism. We're so set on being the Hyundai tribe or the Chiricahua tribe or the Irish tribe, or the Ethiopians. It's very good to name who you are and know who you are and where you're from and associate yourself with the land of which you have come up from. But when it comes to goodness and mercy and kindness and peace, loving for one another, helping one another, there is no border on the planet. I don't care how you dress, how you sing, talk, or what you think that it belongs to your spirituality, but you no longer own peace no more than a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew or a Zulu person. Peace is universal. Caring is universal. Kindness is universal. There's absolutely nothing that is borderline about, oh, you better be careful. We started peace over here. Don't you guys try to get it wrong over there, because y'all saying y'all peaceful. All of them are wrong. They're too tribal. In ancient times, we were all taught to spread out and to take spirituality and begin to teach it to one another. And they didn't do it. But just like life will find a way, Steve, so will the spirit. And sometimes it can be quite cruel.
Life will find a way and love will find a way. And would you connect that to, and this is one of those words like voodoo, where people have this vision of what it is, the word karma.
Yeah.
Say that there's a connection there where life will find a way and sometimes it's not what we expected.
Exactly. Because we don't own it and we didn't cognize it, so we cannot presume that it's going to be the way we think it's going to feel out, or in our heart. Well, in my heart, I feel that if it comes this way, it should have peanut butter and marshmallows. No, we cannot imagine what the ultimate plan of peace and of kindness, which knows no shame, and all of the other types of things like that. The only thing that we can do is within us experience it and release it. Now, voodoo in terms of the spirit, especially in Dahomey and in Abomey and in Wedo and in the Oyo and the different places, Shogbo, in different places where in West Philly, but it didn't even originate there. It comes out of the East and doing a long migration. I think I had mentioned before with Mansa Musa, one of the most wealthiest Africans on the planet. People still say that there's nobody who had more money than Mansa Musa when they began to. But he led that long walk, what we call the chaché, across the Sahara, and found it into places like Songhai and different places like that. So in Dahomey, after the people and the spirit telling people to go out and spread and say who you are and what you are, and they didn't. And they said that the spirit will find a way, and sometimes it may not be pretty. And all of a sudden, people were being kidnapped out of their homes, out of the fields, out of their I mean, doctors, lawyers, shopkeepers, and princes and queens and things like that, and put in bondage and sent in ships all over the diaspora in South America, Central America, and on into what we now call the United States. And we are still spreading the spirit because the spirit never dies. Mm-hmm. So we come into places like Haiti, and the different cultures come together, and from the Congo and from all of the different areas, and they put it together, and they come with what was the dominant word for it all was voodoo, which I told you before, is a Dahomey word meaning mysteries, and Dieu, the Parisian word meaning God. And so voodoo only means mysteries of God. Nothing nefarious about that, except for you can't always trust God to do what you want God to do.
Well, yes, because God works in his own way.
It's a mysterious
his own time. May not be when you want, but
yeah.
Right. You said something, Pabiatande, a moment ago that it was about spirit. And I think it was something to the effect of spirit knows no time. Spirit is always around. I'm a big believer, and more every day in my journey, of energy, believing that energy is everything. We're all energy. We project a certain amount of energy. Some of us, it's a higher energy. Some of it's a lower energy. The chair we're sitting on, there's energy there. Is spirit energy? Are they the same thing?
Yes, it is. Take you and I, for example. You're somewhere in Zanzibar, and you're talking to me over your podcast program. And I'm somewhere, let's say I would like to be in Morocco, having something wonderful to eat after that, or maybe Italy, because Italy got some great food too. But
on my bucket list, yeah.
Yeah. However, you and I are still passing energy to each other. Isn't that crazy?
Totally agree. Yeah. And
look at you, your smile, your eyes, all of this is
same
energy.
with you. and what really sealed the deal for me when it comes to energy is I did Reiki for the first time. I can't believe I waited so long earlier this year, and it was virtual.
Yes. Virtual. Wow, you kidding? Yeah. Okay. So
it was, say a day or two later, I felt the effects of it. I felt like, oh, you know what? I feel calmer, more relaxed. But the game changer, and not to digress here, but this is my example of energy, knows no time, space, it can go anywhere, virtually, whatever. The Reiki practitioner, we never talked. We prayed like a couple of weeks before. It was a text. All right, be in a comfortable spot around 8 p.m. tonight. I'm going to begin, I think about 45 minutes. Well, 48 minutes later, she texts me and she says, all right, I'm all done. See how you feel. And by the way, I gotta bring up something here that I'm getting as I was doing this long distance Reiki. And she said, I had a vision of you taking me on a boat through some weeds and reeds and some water, and we're looking at sea life and everything. She goes, I don't know what it is, but that's what I got from you. And what she was referring to was my Zen spot is I love to kayak, and I will go into the reeds and the weeds, shallow, salty marshes. And I just love looking at what's swimming and moving around. There is no way that she would have known that. You can't go on Facebook. You can't find any of that. So that was like, oh, this thing is real. Because how did she even find that out? How did she she had to have connected with me virtually through spirit, energy, whatever, to figure that out. So to me, it's there. It's the same thing as when we say, let's say somebody's having some surgery in another state, and you say, you know what, positive vibes for you, man. Hope
Positive
you
vibes,
do well.
positive energies.
That's energy. That's what we're doing. Or I'm going to say a prayer for them. What are
Yeah.
you doing? It's the same exact thing. We just don't equate it to energy. We just think in our mind, I'm hoping they do okay. No,
Yeah.
you're sending it off.
Yeah, because when you connect yourself in the same feeling, space, time, the here and now, you know,
Yeah.
is where the connection comes in at. Because we have it all wrong. We have it all wrong when we think about our mathematics and our schematics, our geographical locations, and all of these things. Well, I'm in this place and I'm in that place. We have it all wrong. That's why a lot of times I fear for politicians and or the wealthy and greedy, especially those who don't know, because they have so many people that are putting very hateful, very bad vibrations out against them. And whether they like it or not, it makes them sick. It can even create a longevity within them in life. However, it continues to make them sick. It continues to make people around them sick. That's why they can start things and they look powerful and they have all these things, but things fall. I have a godson who is a huge financial director in Shanghai, at one of the largest banks there. He's a Reiki master.
Hmm.
And I think the last time we were together and I came, I was so sick from, I don't know, some kind of, they call it cold, coming out of the cold or something like that, and working in the cold. And he worked on me, and it just, long story short, the same experience that you have. And I know that he's somewhere in Shanghai or Hong Kong, and he's thinking of me. He's, oh, Pop, yeah. And then he does something, and I can feel my mood change.
Yeah.
Right away. And I love the idea of Reiki. A lot of people thought it was kind of, like, whoa,
Exactly. Yeah.
But everything gets that response, Steve. Be it voodoo, be it Zulu, be it whatever it is, Reiki and all of these. I look at Ayurveda when it came along.
But been around for centuries.
Exactly.
Isn't it, Papa? Isn't
More
it
than
sad? It's
6,000 years.
that we as a people around the globe, especially the United States, we don't realize all of these things that are around us that can impact us, make us better people, because we shy it away. Oh, that's a woo woo foo foo. Ah, yeah, right. Okay, now, but it's real, and the principles are there, and they've been around. There's a reason we still talk about it now.
It's the whole problem, Steve, is when you are laden with self desires and you happen to own a lot of money, major corporations, banking institutions, pharmaceuticals,
Yes.
and so forth. There's the last thing you care about, whether or not you are one of the ones who are the recipient of these kinds of practices. What you care about is money, because in self-desire, and you have power, you have money, and you have a key location, and you have things that you want. You don't care about whether or not Mrs. Hindelmeyer gets it. You don't care if Jack Johnson over here gets anything, or George Turnage or anything gets it, because I want it for myself. Now, if you are the last man on the planet, now you'll be saying, how can we bring back Mrs. Hindelmeyer? Because you realize you messed up in the worst way possible.
Yep.
You saved all of this stuff out of your greed and out of your self-indulgence and all of these things. And you did more harm than what you thought it was. Because if you could harness the energy of the planet, like in nuclear and fission or things like that, or you exactly now find yourself what those people continue to be is intelligent, smart, powerful, and so forth like that. And the biggest problem with it that it is just a manipulation of energies. Yet
Yeah.
they're still looking for Ayurveda. They're still looking at Reiki. They're still looking at voodoo. They're still, you'd be surprised up in high places, those people very secret. And I hope that, because I know we're probably not supposed to talk about this on the show, but I know presidents who have gotten themselves in trouble and went to Haiti for voodoo ceremony or work, baths,
Mm.
prayers, spirituality, and then went directly to the Congo, to Mombasa, and got the help they needed there also, and then came back to the United States, and nobody could touch them.
Mm.
They people looking at us like, wow, what happened? We were all so excited about this thing that happened that all of a sudden it was quashed. It just went away.
Brother, I'm booking a flight now.
Don't you go without me, because I gotta be able to tell people, no, he's good, he's cool. And
It's
you can't
almost like
speak French.
get me down there and put that force field on me.
Yes, yeah, right.
Wow.
Isn't it a crazy? It's a crazy world.
Yeah, but you nailed it. And as soon as you said pharmaceutical, and we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. We'd be here for 5 hours talking about it. But all the things the pharmaceutical industry doesn't approve or shies away from that could potentially help people. The healthcare system. Why don't we see
Monsanto's. Monsanto's. You heard of him?
say it again?
Monsanto's, one of the
No.
largest individuals who, unfortunately, through Barack Obama, I guess there was some kind of deal they made. It's always some kind of deal. You owe me for giving you this, and I want that. And what Monsanto's wanted, control of every seed from every vegetable and every fruit in the United States. He wanted control of it. So that means that you get your watermelon and you slice it open, there's no seeds in it. You get cantaloupe, you get whatever it is that you're looking for, and there are few seeds, or the seeds are not fully germinated. So therefore, if you replant those seeds, there's no benefit in it, because Monsanto's wanted to own just like when they realized in farming, they don't need you as a farmer to grow the kind of things that you grow for the benefit and health of the people. Big government decided that they knew what was best for the people and paid farmers not to grow. So people like Monsanto's came down and said, okay, now what I want to do is own the seeds that grow these fruits, vegetables, and other things that are necessary for everybody. I mean, different commodities like that. Wait till they try to just own all the water. I mean, they're already polluted natural water streams and underground systems, irrigation systems, and now we purchase our waters in bottles and things like that to get good water. But these are the problems that people allow. But you know what? In spirituality, going right back from the beginning, these are the things that are mostly important to those of us in different spiritualities. It doesn't have to be the same, because water is a key route to God. Water is a key source of life, just like air. One of the key sources of God. One of the things that sustains human and animal life is being able to breathe and being able to consume water. That helps to enrich the blood in our bodies, which is the juice of life, and being able to consume credible foods, foods that are not, when a lion kills another animal, and they're predators. What they try to do is eat the softest parts first. And a lot of times I hear the people in National Geographic say, well, they have to eat that. They have to do that because the hyenas are lurking. No, what they're doing is they're consuming the most
Waste.
rich in vitamins and rich in other types of things that you need. They don't. You never seen them take the leg of the antelope. They'll eat it
No.
after a while.
Down the road. Yeah. Yeah. You
But
know,
they're not going to put it on the barbecue and start passing out little steak sandwiches or something.
you
They're
know,
trying to
just
get the nutrition.
what resonated just a moment ago when you talk about water being life.
Yeah.
I have not drank tap water
Yeah.
in decades.
Very good.
And it's now that's not to say drinking out of a bottle, which is super cheap, $4 for a case at, CVS, Walgreens, whatever. That's not to say that that's okay. That, it could be tainted with chemicals too. But, at least in these parts where I am, the groundwater, many believe is responsible for a rise in cancer, health issues, and on and on. But how sad that, for many places in the country that we can't even drink our groundwater because
Yeah, it's very bad.
yeah,
Very
and
bad.
and back to your original point, how did it get that way?
Fracking, big money, big oil, big gas, big pharmacy.
Money. Yeah.
Look at and it's good business to do bad business, like big pharma deciding they have a lot of waste byproduct in making chemicals and medicines. They don't know what to do with it. They just dump it.
Right.
Rivers, streams, and in ground areas that soak in. And you know what? Like in Philadelphia, my friend, with all of the things that Smith, Klein, and French, and I'm not supposed to mention, so I'll say Smith, Klein, and Beck. Aha. We can mention someone else did it. They can't strain the chemicals out of the water. A lot of psychotropics and things like that. So in the water, and you like when you said not drinking tap, from the tap, no matter how much they boil and sterilize it and put all of these kinds of things in it, even the stuff that's supposed to help your teeth, fluoride and all that stuff in there.
Yes.
Right,
And I grew up get fluoride, did a fluoride, and now when you talk to the fluoride, stay away, fluoride bad. And it's like what is going on? It's
but what people don't realize, that things like Listerine was a floor cleaner back when we were real small, and then all of a sudden you can rinse your mouth and gargle with it.
Well, how about when you were a kid, it was okay to drink water out of the garden hose?
Oh yeah, wasn't that the best? After you
like
finished running around
on a 95-degre day, and it's just now you can't. It's like
you can't get enough. You just stop.
Yes, yeah. Now you got to worry about the groundwater. Now you got to worry about the chemicals in the hose. And it clearly even says on the package, "Do not consume from this hose." Like really? Like what?
Not potable. That's why. And then if the government says, okay, we think it was a bad thing that this company did, we're going to fine them $250,000 a week if they don't stop. They've already made $17 billion.
I know, right?
They say, somebody do the math and we'll cut a check for the next 7 years.
Yes.
To continue doing this.
And there's so much news and information.
Bad business.
Very great point. There's so much information out there that company that has to cut that check, most of us aren't even going to see it, that they got slapped on the wrist for it, because we have so much
poisoning people, and they look at all the cancer that they have.
Never do it again.
And they're sitting right next to Big Pharma, and they're going, hey, way to go, buddy. We get to sell them the pills and to
fix it,
and the stuff that it won't cure them. No, don't worry about it. We're not going to kill them. We're going to help them live along with it.
Right. We just, we take care of the symptoms.
Spirituality doesn't work like that. Spirituality is going to go and take it away. Spirituality is going to find the source of it and tell you what to do and what not to do. Spirituality is going to stand you up on your feet, get you thinking better, feeling better, all of the energy all of a sudden in your body, and the things that are going on. And I guarantee you, and if everybody is listening out there, you're going to feel a lot better.
Yeah. Once you find it. Papi Atande, how do we reach you? How do we find you? Somebody's got a question. They want to bounce something off you. How does it work?
Well, I keep telling you folks, and thank you for asking, because there are some people who have gotten in touch with me. There's some people that have come to visit me new people.
Wow.
And I'm loving it. So I want to thank you for that. But please go to the website is still being built, but it will be yatande.com. But also go to Grohungan. That's a title meaning high priest. GROHUNGAN @gmail.com. See, I said it like I'm on a commercial. At gmail.com. Gmail should be giving me some money for that.
Yeah,
and also call me. I'm at 215-869-5322. Again, that's 215-869-5322. 5322. And give me a call on that. I don't care what time of day or night. I don't care what kind of problem you have. That's what I'm here for. If weeping endures the night, but joy comes with tomorrow's sun. Now, the rising of tomorrow's sun doesn't mean the end of pain and whatever the loss or the problems are, but it does mean the presence of the spirit. So always remember that, my people. Love you, Steve. Had a great show.
Same here. And to you and everybody else, as we go to celebrate whatever holiday it is, I'm just going to say, may the spirit be with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be celebrating. Thank you very much. And with you and your family too. I hope you get that fire truck you're waiting for.
Listen, I ordered a Hess truck. I want the Hess truck.
Oh, yes. That Hess truck looks nice. I've seen that. I'm like, you can never get that part of the kid out of you, can you?
Not at all. Yeah. And you know what? Stay that way. That's the best way to be. Curious.
Yes.
Curious. Always stay curious.
I see the light in your face. That's your spirit aura coming out.
I see yours too.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I wish you well, and we'll talk soon. Maybe next week in the new year. Yep. God bless you.
I'm all down. I'm all in.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the podcast.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.